right, we are back with a special D&D movie time. And today is September 9th, and it's a very special day. Why is that, Cora?
Because it is my grandpa's and my dad's birthday.
Yes, it's my dad's birthday, your grandpa, and your grandpa served in the Navy. And so as a special treat, we're going to review one of his favorite movies.
Red October.
The Hunt for Red October.
The Hunt for Red October. That's what I said.
Yep. And this movie has Sean Connery, Alec Baldwin, Tim Curry, James Earl Jones, and a bunch of other people. But those are probably the most notable names. So, without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into this. And are you ready?
Yes. Dive!
Scott Glenn, Sam Neill, The Hunt for Red October.
Alright, so we just finished The Hunt for Red October. Cora, should I even ask you to try to tell me what this is about?
No.
So to roughly say what this movie is about, a Russian captain gets command of a prototype submarine called the Red October, and he takes off with his crew, and they kind of use this new engine that gives them the ability to move silently through the water. And the Russians don't know where he's going, although we find out later that he sent a letter to like the leader of the Russians. But the Americans don't know where it's going, and basically as they're talking about the Red October going missing, Alec Baldwin figures out that they're not going on a suicide mission to attack America, that the captain of the Red October wants to defect to the U.S. And so they gotta basically let him know that if this is true, they have to work with him. And so they got to get on board the Red October. They also got to make the crew believe that the Red October was destroyed and not taken into American custody. Otherwise, the Russians will be able to get their ship back without the U.S. being able to find out how they built the ship in the first place, the sub. And yeah, so that's basically what it's all about. Trying to get these Russians that want to defect to the U.S., but mainly about getting the Red October in one piece. And at one point, they actually make it out to where, because the Russians, they're being very, secretive about it at first, denying it, and then they finally say, oh, well, actually, yeah, this has happened, but he wants to attack America. So basically now most of Americans are out trying to find him and destroy the ship. The Russians have already been out trying to destroy the ship, and because of the silent running, they can't find the ship, although, something happens which causes them to use regular propulsion, regular propellers and stuff. So, but that is basically what this movie is about. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when we come back, we will give our final scores and thoughts.
Bye.
Looking for something to pass the time? Need something good to read or listen to?
To get you ready for Halloween.
Do you like famous slashers like Jason, Freddy, Michael, or Ghostface?
Do you wish there was something new and original that you could read on your phone or tablet? Or perhaps you like to grab a scary book and read by candlelight?
Check out these short stories, written by Sean Connery. When a mildly abusive man mistreats his bride-to-be on Halloween night, his neighbors decide to teach him a lesson. A lesson he won't soon forget when he finds himself in the witch's hole. And narrated by me, Tara Klein.
A Seattle detective, Scott Grimes, investigates a string of odd murders. But where this case ultimately leads him, he could never have predicted when he crosses paths with the legal murderer. And narrated by me, Brad Letson.
Join the Dunn family as they make their way to a vacation home for a weekend trip. However, when the sun goes down, things seem to get just as dark inside as outside. Stay with the Dunns and see if you can make it through The Mansion. Audiobook narrated by Dylan Poor.
This story follows Sir Godwin as he and a small group transport a lovely princess out of a soon-to-be war zone, and as they travel they must pass through some woods. However, things grow darker and more sinister the deeper into the woods they go, and they find what some believe to only be known as the Legend of Fort Blood. Narrated for you by Angela Strauman.
So, turn out the lights, light a candle, grab your phone or tablet, and download your ebook or audiobook now.
Currently available all year round on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes.
So don't miss out, and grab your copy today.
For thousands of years, the world has been protected by the Guardian of Light, or as he is more commonly known, Santa Claus. Over the centuries, factors such as fear and prejudice, greed and jealousy, misunderstandings, betrayal and war have segregated most humans from the magical world of elves, fairies, wizards, and the like. This has resulted in many misconceptions and generalizations of the true nature of Santa and his world.
This 6-book series by Sean Connery begins as the current of a long series of guardians is murdered by a group of monstrous enemies recently escaped from an enchanted South Pole prison. These creatures are loyal to the darkness, an evil force determined to exterminate the light in order to enslave all creatures of the world.
Shane Connor, an average young man, suddenly finds himself being trained as the new Guardian. As he adapts to his new life among fantastic creatures, he goes on an adventurous quest with a legendary wizard for the ultimate weapon to use against the darkness, and faces murderous enemies like Rasputin, Morgana Le Fay, Krampus, and many more.
Along with his best friend Joe Gomez, Shane encounters politics, history, mysterious murders, new loves, his own hidden past, and racial dynamics among the fantasy races that turn out to be all too real. Their adventures reveal the true nature of the world and challenge the current state of how all races interact.
This series expertly melds myths, legends, history, faiths, folklore, and secret societies into a fascinating, cohesive, comprehensive world of wonder and magic.
From Atlantis to Olympus, from Hades to the moon, and from broomstick races to Christmas deadlines, join the new Santa Claus on his amazing journey. But beware! Will Shane's quest achieve his ultimate goal of destroying the darkness and preserving the light of the world? Or is he actually playing right into a plot by dark forces that will result in his, and our, ultimate doom?
So make your list and check it twice for the Guardian of Light book series. Download your audiobook or ebook today from Audible, Amazon, or iTunes.
All right, we are back. So, Cora, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give The Hunt for Red October?
I would say a 10 out of 10. I can pretty understand why Paul liked this movie.
What was your favorite part of this movie?
I would probably say the part where they faked it to sabotage. Like, actually don't know how to literally explain it.
Where they go looking for the saboteur, or when the ship's rising? When the ship's rising?
Like the fake sabotage.
Oh, when they rig the ship to say it's radioactive, and so they have to get everybody off the boat
Yes.
and onto the lifeboats.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say when he moves the ship in the path of the torpedo and it just hits the ship and nothing happens.
Actually, that was actually my favorite part. As I was mostly in the part where I was like, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
How can anybody even survive a torpedo whatever that is? And like, how can a torpedo hit a ship and somehow act completely normal?
Because it wasn't armed. It was like a torpedo is like a bomb, and it doesn't arm itself until the last moment. But because he closed the distance, it just was like something got chucked at the ship, and it didn't explode. Think of it like a firecracker, a firecracker that would light itself on fire just 5 seconds before it's about to hit you. But other than that, if it was traveling through the air, the wick wouldn't be lit or it'd explode before it got to you. But because he closed the distance, like I said, it just was like a dud torpedo. So, I think you'll understand that a little bit more as you get older, but yeah. Did you have a favorite character?
Tim Curry.
He was hardly in the movie. You just like him because of Home Alone, too.
No.
Yes.
No.
What did you think of Sean Connery?
The captain?
Yeah.
Which captain? There were two captains.
The main one. The Russian captain.
He was okay.
Because we'll probably be watching more movies with him.
I'm voting for Tim Curry.
I think you'll enjoy when you see him in Highlander. Sean Connery, not Tim Curry. Tim Curry's not in Highlander. Did you enjoy the music?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Anything else about this movie you enjoy? Are you gonna want to rewatch this with Grandpa when you see him?
Yeah, maybe see, and maybe watch the reaction with him too.
Yeah. Get a reaction. See how he reacts.
To the reaction.
He's probably watched this movie like 10, 15 times.
Well, he's gonna see the trailer again.
Yeah. But that's because your grandpa used to serve on ships like that when he was in the Navy. He worked on submarines and went underwater. I bet your grandpa's a real good swimmer too.
I'm not.
Oh, you gotta get good. I figure if anything, you'd probably want to go on submarines so you can go under and study the ocean life. But anyways, moving on to my score. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give The Hunt for Red October. I'd have to go with a 10 out of 10 too. It does have a lot of good action. It does have a lot of good drama. The music in it is powerful and very good. It's one of those movies that I could put on from time to time and enjoy it each time. I haven't seen, I think, The Hunt for Red October since I was probably a teenager. I think I watched it with my dad the last time. I think we went out and got lunch or something and watched The Hunt for Red October with lunch. Other than that, I haven't watched this movie too much. So it's been several years since I've seen it, since I've had the ability to see it. But I saw it at Walmart and I was like, Dad's birthday is coming up. I want to get this movie and review it with Cora and see what Cora thinks of this. So I think you probably will enjoy Crimson Tide just a bit more than this movie, though. Because Crimson Tide... But I'm going to wait till you're a little bit older. Because Crimson Tide is probably a slightly more complicated plot than this one.
So, like, when I'm a teenager?
Maybe.
Okay.
Or maybe like a year or two from now, depending on how well you can comprehend stories and plot lines. Because you got a lot of fast-moving stuff going on in there. And, I mean, there was a lot of fast stuff in this one, but this one was a basic straight plot line. And you just had to really pay attention to the small details. Like you were asking me about, like, why did they attach one sub to another? And that was actually explained back at the beginning of the movie. If you had watched and paid attention, instead of focusing on chips and corn dogs, then you would have heard them. You would have heard them talking about that little submarine that could be used to transport people from one sub to another. So. But alright, that's gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode of D&D Movie Time. Our special episode for my dad, your grandpa. I hope if you haven't checked this out, please be sure to do so. This is a really good movie. If you're into war movies and stuff, this is definitely going to be right up your alley. This is definitely worth a watch. And some of these actors, they aren't with us. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention the one guy you recognized from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Why are you doing like a crab dance for Bill and Ted? Weird. Alright, that's going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. We will see you all in the next one. What are you doing? You were such a weirdo. Alright. Alright, well, I do just, before we go, I want to mention that I do have the my reaction to the One Piece live action series still coming out throughout the month. Trying to nail down exactly how I'm going to release these. I was willing to put out one every day when the previous one reached 500 views. Apparently that's not going to happen, even though you probably will hear me keep mentioning it, because we already recorded it before. I was really hopeful they would get up to that many views each day, but, you know, they didn't. So, I also want to point out that I still do, and I have never stopped, every time we get a new set of 10 subscribers, I give away a free digital code on this channel, and it's a first serve, first come kind of deal. Once we hit that new set of 10, the next set we're trying to reach is 130. Once we reach 130, I will put a code in the very next video I upload. So if you want to get a free movie code, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure your notification bell is turned on, because that next video could very well have a free code in it. You never know. And I'll be putting on a lot of videos this month. We got stuff lined up for October. Sorry. And we may or may not be doing a reaction video in October, me and Cora. So we just have to kind of play it on ear and see what's available, what we're able to do. So, alright, with that said, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.